Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you taking your time. Can you tell me a little bit about yourselves and your organization?
Well, first of all, it's a real pleasure to be here with you. I'm Nina Streich, and I founded the Global Peace Film Festival in 2003 and have run it until 2023, so a 20-year run. And I'm still, I've just turned the organization over to David Wheeler to be our new CEO. And I'm remaining as the founder and festival director. So I'll be running the festival itself. And David, which takes place in September around the International Day of Peace, which is on September 21st. And David will be running the whole organization.
Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting us here today. We do appreciate it. The Global Peace Film Festival has a long 20-year plus foundation that Nina has done a great job building the organization. And my role is to take it into the next 20 years and try to not just have a growing international film festival here in Central Florida, but also to be where the audience is, because we want to invite people here and to reach them through our festival, but we also have to have them to the ability to sample the product and to enjoy some of what we can offer digitally, and then reach a more global audience and then invite them here to join in the festival.
What makes the Global Peace Film Festival unique?
Well, first of all, it's the only multi-day, multi-issue, multi-venue film festival that's centered around the idea of peace, environmental sustainability, justice, human rights, and et cetera. And the location is also unique because it's the only thing like it in Central Florida.
How can film serve as a catalyst for peace?
Well, that's exactly the reason for the Global Peace Film Festival, because we believe that what we've really worked on creating is a festival that inspires people to do something about what they've seen. So with most film festivals, the excitement is when the lights go down and people are anticipating the film they're about to see. But with the Global Peace Film Festival, where we say that the excitement begins when the lights come back up and people are sitting a little taller in their seats and thinking, boy, I wish there was something I could do about that. And it's our job to not only deliver wonderful film for them to see, but also to deliver ideas for something that they can do, to introduce them to organizations locally that are working on those issues, not only locally, regionally, nationally, internationally even, who are working on those issues so that fire can be lit and people can take action after seeing a film. So we really do believe that film is a catalyst for action, and our job is to basically make that connection. Very often we look for, not everything, but a lot of the films we show are models for things that can be replicated. Sometimes we hope that by seeing a film about something that's happening even half a world away, people will say, oh, we can do that here and make a difference. So the important thing is that we inspire people to make a difference.
And it also allows them to make connection, a global connection. And if they haven't joined us in person at a festival, we do it every year. If we engage them by, there are generations of people that view content from their cell phone, and they might stumble upon Global Peace just by being made aware of it, maybe a global event that's happening in a country like Ukraine, for instance. That might spark interest and search, and they'll find us, engage in our programming, and then maybe come and visit us sometime. Central Florida is a great place to visit, and if they can engage with like-minded people and get involved, both digitally, virtually, and in person.
So part of what we do here is to, boost Central Florida as a location for, not just to come to vacation or come for a convention or something, but to come to make things happen, come to make a difference.
Exactly. We're more than just theme parks. We have substance, and we want to share that with the world.
Yes, of course we do. So where is your festival and how can people attend?
Well, first of all, the website is peacefilmfest.org. and people can go to the website because that has all the information. The festival itself takes place in multiple venues, mostly in Winter Park, and we do screenings at Rollins College. We do screenings at the Winter Park Library. We do screenings in a variety of community centers around Orange County and some in Seminole. We've done several screenings in Lake County, and basically we look for opportunities wherever they exist in the area.
And not just to attend the festival. Of course, we want people to buy tickets and join us in the festival, but we also look for volunteers. If you fancy yourself as a filmmaker in Central Florida and you attend one of the universities, chances are we've engaged them in some way. But you can come to our website and you can volunteer. We would love to have you, and you might introduce us to something that we haven't thought of, and bring new ideas and new product to the festival as well.
What's the submission and selection process?
Well, submissions open in February and close in mid-June, and we accept submissions through a website called filmfreeway.com. That's a portal where you can put all your information about your film and in a centralized location, and then decide on what festivals worldwide that you want to submit your film to. So it's useful for any aspiring filmmakers to know about Film Freeway. You can sort of go on their website and you'll be amazed at the number of festivals. There's over 3,000 listed on Film Freeway. I think it may even, I'm pretty sure it's even bigger than that. But that is how we accept submissions. There's a small submission fee and there's multiple deadlines. The earlier you submit, the less expensive it is. The final submission is more expensive.
And also, to broaden the scope a little bit, I know myself, when I was introduced to the organization, I had the immediate thought of it, war and peace. And I think that's what people think of first, tanks and diplomats. But Nina has had the ability to engage and look at content that is, peace is a word that has a broad meaning. And Nina, you've seen a lot of different approaches to that.
Yeah.
And just so you know, when you come to the festival, it's not just tanks and diplomats. It's peace could be your own peace. Peace could be peace in a family, peace in a city that has homeless, or maybe it's through sustainability, because if you have food, water, and accommodation, then likely you would not be in conflict with someone to try to acquire that in a different way. So it's a very broad subject, and we welcome people to come and engage with us.
And when I started the festival, it was in response to the Iraq War. And rather than doing a festival in response to the Iraq War, I decided I wanted to turn it around and make it not against war, but what does peace look like? So in all its manifestations. So that's the reason for the broad description that David just gave.
Can you give me an example of one of your films and impact it has had?
We partnered with Amnesty International, who was having, this was several years ago, who was having, they were having an anti-death penalty campaign in the state of Florida. And we wanted to find a film that worked for them. And the film was going to be presented at the Winter Park Library. And so the audience is basically a nice middle-class audience. And what Amnesty was doing is they had a death row exoneree who was touring the state to talk about his experiences. And the film we chose was called Prison Through Tomorrow's Eyes. It was about a group of students, criminal justice students, who were going to graduate, and their professor took them on a tour of the California penal system. And at the beginning of the film, the director asks them all simple questions, and mostly, what are you going to do when you graduate? And they all had these very black and white ideas of, I'm going to put the bad guys away. And when at the end of the film, the director asks exactly the same questions. And most of the students, they're they were very recognizable to the audience that we had. At the end of the film, the director asks the same questions, and they've all changed their minds. They've seen shades of gray, and oh, I'm rethinking what I want to do. And then we brought out the speaker from Amnesty International, and rather than, this was not an audience who would go out of their way to listen to somebody who'd been on death row. And they were just leaning in and peppering him with questions. And the Amnesty representative said, this was the most effective event we've had so far on this tour because the film just opened their eyes, opened their hearts.
And if we touch on subjects and people that are relatable to the general population, and they come and they visit and they watch, and other topics that they really never thought, because let's face it, most of us will not be engaged in combat in that war and peace scenario that I mentioned before. We're going to experience and look for peace in different ways. And we want to help people connect with that. And if we can touch where they are, meaning not just from where they're located, but also where their head is, where their life is, then we can help them broaden that and maybe help them and others, because they'll share that as well.
How can people get involved and support?
Come to our website, volunteer.
We have a volunteer coordinator. We have social media. There's many ways, whether they come through the website or through Facebook or Instagram, but myself or Nina.
And also we have a YouTube channel. We do interviews with sort of like this, but on Zoom, with as many of the filmmakers who have films in the festival. And so as of now, we have well over 100. We're heading towards 200 different interviews with filmmakers talking about the specific film that they have had in the festival. There are websites at the end of the interviews so that you can find out how to see that film. So that's a way to find more information and material that you want, but come back to our website.
And I would say that, it's always the next generation and the next generation that we're always looking to touch to continue the work that we do. If you have keywords and things that you want to put out there, volunteerism. If you have keywords you want to put out, such as influencer, there are people out there that would really like to be an influencer. And to do that, you have to be passionate about something, and you have to have the mindset of what it is I'm going to communicate, and people will follow. So peace and what we do here might be a good place for someone to volunteer, and maybe they can build their own base and get the word out about their piece.
Well, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. I know film definitely has a big impact on people when they watch it, and it could touch them in ways that just a conversation or trying to talk at somebody doesn't. So thank you for the work that you do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
If you're enjoying this show, please subscribe to our channel and follow our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts.